Help me to reach 2,000 subscribers. The message popped up on my phone at 7:42 p.m. Don't wait up for me tonight. Just having dinner with some old friends from college. I stared at the text, my fingers frozen above the screen. It wasn't the message itself that twisted my stomach, but the way she ended it, with a winking emoji. Samantha hadn't used an emoji with me in months. We'd been together 15 years, married for 10, and in that time, I thought I had memorized her rhythms. The tone of her laughter, the way she tied her hair when she was deep in thought, the subtle sigh she made when something was wrong. But lately, all those rhythms had changed, as if I were living with a stranger who wore my wife's face. I typed a simple reply. Okay. Have fun. Then I placed my phone face down on the table, though my pulse refused to slow. The house was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. The clock ticked. 7:44 p.m. I told myself to stop overthinking. She deserved a night out. She had been talking about reconnecting with old classmates. Still, a part of me whispered that something was off. A soft rain began tapping against the windows, making the house feel smaller. I walked to the kitchen and opened the wine we'd been saving for our anniversary. She wouldn't notice. She'd forgotten about it anyway. I poured a glass, sat by the window, and watched the empty driveway. By 9:10, the whisper in my head had turned into a scream. I opened her Instagram, something I hadn't done in months. A new story was up, dim lighting, a wine glass clinking, and across the table, a man's voice laughing. The clip was short, but my heart stopped before it ended. It was a voice I knew. Tom. Her old boyfriend. The one she swore she never thought about anymore. The one she once told me had taught her what not to want in a man. My mouth went dry. I replayed the story 3 times before it disappeared. My chest felt hollow, like someone had carved out everything inside me and left the shell sitting there, pretending to breathe. I grabbed my jacket and keys. The restaurant wasn't far. Just across town, the kind of cozy, candlelit place where people went to celebrate anniversaries or whisper secrets. I parked a block away and walked through the drizzle, every step pounding with questions I wasn't ready to answer. Through the front window, I saw her. Samantha. My wife. She was sitting at a corner table, wearing the blue dress I'd bought her for our 10th anniversary, the one she said was too sentimental to wear again. Her hair was loose, her head tilted slightly as she laughed. Across from her sat Tom, leaning in just close enough that the space between them felt like a secret. My chest tightened. The air around me felt thick, suffocating. For a moment, I thought about barging in. About demanding to know what the hell was happening. But instead, I just stood there in the rain, watching. Then she reached across the table and touched his hand. It wasn't a romantic gesture. Not entirely. But it wasn't innocent either. It was the kind of touch that said, I've missed this. I turned and walked away before I could see more. Back in the car, I sat in silence. The rain tapped harder on the windshield, the rhythm matching my pulse. I wanted to scream, to cry, to drive until the night swallowed me. But I did none of that. I just waited. She came home at 11:26. Her hair smelled faintly of perfume I didn't recognize. Hey, she said, smiling too easily. You're still up. I looked at her. Really looked at her. The smudged lipstick, the flushed cheeks, the way her fingers fidgeted with her phone. How was dinner? I asked quietly. It was nice, she said. Just catching up, you know? Feels weird seeing everyone after all these years. I nodded. Tom was there. Her eyes flickered for a fraction of a second before she smiled again. Yeah, for a bit. Why? I swallowed the lump in my throat. Just curious. She kissed me on the cheek, her lips cold. You worry too much. Then she walked into the bedroom and closed the door. I sat in the dark living room for a long time, staring at the wedding photo above the fireplace. The two of us, younger, laughing like the world was ours. By morning, I'd made a decision. When she went to shower, I opened her laptop. I hated myself for it, but love makes you do ugly things when it's bleeding. Her messages were still open from the night before. The chat with Tom wasn't long, but it was enough. Tom, it felt good seeing you again. You haven't changed. Samantha, you have. In a good way. Tom, next time, maybe just us. Samantha, maybe. Maybe. The word hit harder than any confession. It wasn't guilt or denial. It was possibility. When she came out of the shower, wrapped in a towel, she caught me staring at the screen. Her face went pale. You went through my messages. I didn't answer. I just turned the laptop toward her. For a moment, she said nothing. Then her eyes filled with tears. It wasn't what it looks like. Then what is it? I asked, my voice shaking. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you're thinking about starting something again. She sat on the edge of the bed, trembling. I don't know, okay? I just wanted to feel like someone saw me again. You used to look at me like that. Like I mattered. Her voice cracked, and the pain in it tore something inside me. Because part of me understood. We'd drifted. I'd been too tired, too busy, too numb. But understanding didn't mean forgiving. I never stopped seeing you, I said quietly. You just stopped looking back. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The air between us was thick with everything we'd lost. Then I stood up. I'm going out. Where? She whispered. Nowhere that you need to know. I drove until the sky began to lighten, parking by the cliffs outside town. The sea below was violent, churning grey and white, as if the world itself was arguing with me. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to our wedding photo. For the first time, I deleted it. Then I opened a blank message and typed. You wanted to feel seen. I see you now. And I'm walking away. I never sent it. I didn't need to. When I came home that evening, her things were gone. A note sat on the counter. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. I just didn't know who I was anymore. I folded the note and placed it in the drawer beside our wedding rings. Maybe someday I'll forgive her. Maybe not. But tonight, the silence in the house feels honest for the first time in years. And honesty, even when it hurts, is a kind of peace.